Today, I'll walk you through everything you need to know about the August Rust update. I've already made a few videos on this topic, but a lot has changed. So even if you've seen them, this video will be the most up-to-date. I'll show you how to activate the power plant monument, where to find new heavy fuses, what each power level gives you, how to call an airdrop and a Chinook event on the Airfield, how to activate the crashing satellite event, and a lot of other useful stuff. Don't forget to hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel. And let's begin with the new features on Red Towns. From now on, Power Plant is the most important monument in Rust, because it can unlock new features on other monuments, produce electricity for the entire server, and enable enhanced item recycling. If players activate the Power Plant, electricity will flow along the roadside power lines that have been around for years. The amount of electricity available depends on the power level, and there are a total of 4 power levels, which we'll talk about a bit later. If you go inside the main building at the power plant, you'll see that it's changed a lot. First of all, there are now huge machines right in the middle that actually work when the power plant is running. Second, there are now 2 fuse boxes, one on the first floor in this corner and another on the second floor next to the windows. You can't put normal fuses in these fuse boxes. You need new special heavy fuses. You can find them inside the military crates with a 12% drop chance, or inside the default yellow crates with an 8% drop chance, so it's a pretty common item. Also, you can put these heavy fuses in every fuse box on the map instead of the default fuse. This can be really helpful when you're doing a puzzle, because heavy fuses give you much more time. One heavy fuse can work for the whopping 9600 seconds, or 2 hours and 40 minutes. And if you try to recycle it, for some reason, you will get the same 20 scrap as from the default fuse. Now, let me explain the new power level system. At wipe, the game begins in phase 0, or power level 0. This means all the green recyclers on the map have 50% efficiency, instead of 60% as it was before, and none of the new monument features are enabled. To activate the first power level, you need to put 1 heavy fuse in the fuse box on the power plant. This will start the engines inside the main building, and smoke will come out of the chimney. The first power level will give you access to a huge number of new features. First of all, you will get 12 electricity from the poles all over the map. This will be enough to power 1 turret inside your base. You don't need any ladders to climb on these poles, because they use the same mechanics as trees in the jungle biome. Second, you'll be able to use new features on the gas stations and supermarkets. For example, the gas station now has a real garage door that you can actually open and use a car lift inside the garage. This is available from the first power level, but the gas station also has its own generator. So even if the power plant isn't running, you can still use the car lift if you have some low-grade fuel. Also, you can find a new advanced vehicle crate in the cave under the car lift. Inside the box, you can find random medium-quality parts, which can be pretty useful. In the supermarket, you can now find a fridge with some food or pies inside it. This fridge will only work if the power plant is running, so if there is no electricity, it will turn off and you won't get any food. Third, if there is a first power level on the server, you can call an airdrop from this tower on the Airfield. You need to climb to the very top, and you will find 2 new computers and fuse boxes in this room. At the first power level, only the upper fuse box and left computer become active. To call an airdrop, put a default fuse or heavy fuse into the upper fuse box. Wait until the terminal is fully charged, and press the red button between 2 handles once charging is complete. Now, for 1 hour, supply drops will be dispatched at twice the normal rate, at random locations on the map. Fourth, if there is a first power level on the server, you can activate the water stations at random locations on the map. To do this, you need to come to the water treatment and use one of the valves. You can find one on top of this huge barrel, and another next to this metal shack on the other side of the monument. Put 1 gear inside this valve and hold E to turn the wheel until it stops. Once the wheel stops spinning, the water stations around the map will start working. Each station contains 15,000 units of clean water. You can either drink it, fill your jug with this water, or use a car to transfer it. And lastly, if there is a first power level on the server, you get access to this room on the second floor, inside the blue card room on the power plant. To enable the second power level, you need to put 4 heavy fuses in the fuse box. This will increase the efficiency of all the recyclers across the map, from 50% to the default 60%, as it always has been. And there will be more power on the poles, 18 instead of 12. To activate the third power level, you need to put 10 heavy fuses in the fuse box. This will increase power on the poles, from 18 to 24, and it will also enable the dome crude oil pumps and oil rig switches. You can find these switches inside the card rooms. On the large oil rig, you need a red keycard, and on the small oil rig, you need a blue keycard. Once you flip the switch, you'll be able to pump crude oil on the dome monument. If you use a switch on a small oil rig, you'll get 180 oil from each pump over the course of 20 minutes, or 540 oil in total. If you use a switch on a large oil rig, you'll get 360 oil from each pump over the course of 20 minutes, or 1080 oil in total. And if you use both of the switches at the same time, you'll get a little over 1600 oil in total. To get all this oil, you need to find or make a car with a tank model and drive it to the dome monument. Park it next to these fuel pumps and connect the tank to the pump using a hose. By the way, there are 3 connections on your car, so you can connect all 3 of these pumps at the same time to speed up the process. To extract this crude oil from your car, you need to find or make a car lift. For example, you can use a new lift on the gas station. Just drive your car onto the lift, go outside and press E to open the car menu, and you'll see a take button to collect the oil from the tank. But be careful, because it takes only 2 high-velocity rockets to blow up this car. To activate the last power level, you need to put 18 heavy fuses in the fuse boxes. Once you do that, you'll be able to use this red recycler on the power plant. You can find it next to the puzzle room. This new recycler will give you 75% efficiency instead of 60% and 4 seconds recycling speed instead of 5 seconds in the default recycler. Also, when someone activates the highest power level, all the recyclers on the map will have a recycling speed of 4.5 seconds instead of the default 5 seconds, and there will be more power on the poles, 30 instead of 24. Plus, when you get the max power level, the second Airfield computer and the lower fuse panel will activate. Once charging is complete, you can use the right terminal to call a one-time Chinook raid directly to the Airfield. This event is similar to calling the oil rig heavy scientists, but you won't have to fight NPCs. And lastly, at the maximum power level, you can trigger a new event, a crashing satellite. You can trigger it once every hour. To activate this event, you need to go to the launch site monument and find this building. Go inside it, and on the left, you will see the control room. But be careful, because there are tons of red spots in every corner. Inside this room, you will find a huge computer station that you can interact with. You need to insert only one AIMIN module to activate this terminal. You can find this AIMIN module at the Ghost Ship crate, Oil Rig crate, or Chinook crate. Once you've put the AIMIN module in this computer station, it will light up and enable the monitors. Now you can press E to open the menu. Here you will see the list of different satellites with different sizes, fuel amounts, loot and mass. The bigger the satellite, the more loot it contains. Once you selected one of the satellites, you can use the buttons at the bottom to adjust where it will fall, but it will still be random. Once you have selected the location where you want the satellite to land, press the lock button and wait 10 minutes. When the time is up, you'll see a satellite falling from the sky and crashing on the ground. As for the loot inside this satellite, you can find up to 5 boxes. As soon as the fire goes out, you'll be able to loot them. Inside these boxes, you'll find some tech trash, cameras, computers, AIMIN modules, and high-quality metal. Also, you can mine this satellite. From one satellite, you'll get some high QOL, a bit of metal and tech trash, a few solar panels, and 3 engine modules. If you recycle these modules, you'll get some explosives, which is pretty cool. As for other changes, the developers added an upkeep system for high external walls and gates. This was done to prevent clans from blocking monuments or entire islands with high walls. Now, if you want to cover your base with high walls, each wall will take resources from your TC to maintain itself. Also, they changed auto turrets. Now you need 25 high QOL to craft it, instead of 10 as it was before. Red Jacket now has more protection against cold and bites. Recycle Bin now has its own storage space, so all the resources won't go into your inventory, but into the bin instead. Wolf Mask is now a tier 1 item, meaning you need a first workbench to craft it. In the fishing village, instead of blueprints for a kayak and paddle, you can buy actual items. If you hold down the E button to open the sleeping bag menu, you can show the sleeping bag on the compass. And you can also add a specific sleeping bag to your favorites to keep it at the front of the list. Now, when you craft an AK, you'll get 4 bullets. Before, there wasn't any ammo. Water Well NPC now can sell only 2 items, after which there will be a 10-minute cooldown. However, this doesn't apply to bullets and syringes. And finally, they added a new DLC. This time, it doesn't have any pay-to-win features, so it's only cosmetic. This DLC will have a new skin for the mini fridge, new skin for a chair with a new animation, new jukebox with LCD display and radio feature, new and first skin for the gun trap, new wallpapers, new carpets, and new games such as pool, darts, and tic-tac-toe. In my opinion, this is the best and most extensive update in the last few years, as it will completely change the game's mechanics. But what do you think about this update? Please write your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really interested in your opinion. Also, if you want to support my channel, you can join the membership and become a real chat. So if you have the opportunity, I'd appreciate your support. And if you want to learn even more about Rust, then this is the updated, ultimate guide to all monuments in Rust, from tier 1 all the way up to tier 3.